Hey guys, Will from Boosted Autos here. Today I'm really excited to finally be able to do my review of these Aerpro LED headlight globes, which Aerpro sent me to review quite a number of months ago now. I haven't been able to do it because I've had the car off the road and I wanted to do a proper driving test and show you what they look like on the road. Can't do that when the car's off the road. So really excited to finally get around to doing this review. So look, in the interest of full disclosure, Aerpro did send me these for free to test out. They saw the first couple of headlights modification videos that I did, and they reached out and said, look, we'd really love for you to do a review of our products. So I've been chatting to them quite a bit, really friendly team there. And look, I've made it very clear that this is going to be a review video. It's not a product endorsement. I don't do product endorsements on this channel, as you guys know. So the good, the bad, the ugly, everything that I sort of find about this product, I will let you guys know. So anyway, let's get stuck into the review. So if you've spent any time at all researching LED headlight globes on the internet, you'll know that there's a plethora of cheap Chinese quality globes on the net, which are very, very cheap to buy, but you know, in most cases the quality is pretty terrible. And I've actually had the opportunity to test some of those out. A mate of mine actually bought some for his car, and not only did they not work properly, but they only lasted a couple of weeks the way they were anyway. They were way over the top bright, they got too hot, the beam pattern was all incorrect for the headlight, and it was just a total nightmare. And you know, headlights are one of those things that you really don't want to take risks with, because not only can it be dangerous for you if your headlights break while you're driving down a dark road, but it's also extremely dangerous for people coming the opposite direction as well, other motorists. If your headlights are spraying light out all over the place in the wrong areas, you know, you can blind oncoming traffic, and it's just not a thing that you want to get into, besides, you know, all the legal issues with it as well. So you really don't want to skimp out on quality with headlights. So Aerpro globes are a little bit more expensive than some of the cheap Chinese ones that you can buy on the net, but when you do have a look at them, you'll see there's a couple of reasons why that is. Now, the first thing that I noticed when I picked these up was the Cree logo on there. It says powered by Cree. Now, Cree is an American brand that's been around since 1987, and they're pretty much the market leaders, along with, you know, brands like Heller and Nava, in terms of vehicle lighting. So when you see that Cree logo, you know that you're buying a quality product. So these are actually using Cree LED modules for the module itself, which is a really, really good start. So opening up the box, you've got two sets of globes in there, and I'll show you what those look like. I've actually already unboxed these and installed them in the car for a couple of days just to test them out so I could have a better impression before I did the review. So inside the box you get the LED module and the ballast, which I'll go into more detail on shortly. There's a little thing of silica desiccant compound in there as well to keep them dry, and then you've got a little Allen key here as well, which you can use to adjust the orientation. I'll show you how that works in a little while. Close that up again, and you also get a little instruction manual as well. Nothing fancy, just kind of tells you how the orientation works, how to wire them up, and a couple of technical specifications as well. So importantly to look at here, color temperature is 5700 Kelvin, which puts it right in the middle of the white spectrum. So if you've seen those HID conversion kits that look kind of blue, they look very cool, but because of the way the light spectrum works and the way that blue light reflects off objects, if you've got, say, a dark red object in the middle of the road, the light actually doesn't reflect back off that, so you can't see it. So having light in the middle of the white spectrum is the ideal place for maximum visibility, and that's the reason why the laws are the way they are around the color of the light output as well. So anything around that sort of 5000 to 6000 color temperature range is where you want to be for maximum visibility. Once you get over that 6000 mark, you're starting to move into the bluer side of the spectrum, and that's where you start to get problems with lights that look really bright but don't actually illuminate that much stuff on the street. And if you're interested in more of the science around how exactly all that works, let me know in the comments below. I'm happy to do another video that explains all the scientific reasons why that is the way it is. But getting back into this, operating life is greater than 30,000 hours, which is obviously heaps. The IP rating is IP65 for water resistance. 6,000 lumens, the brightness, so that's between the two, so 3,000 lumens on each side, which is around about twice the brightness of a standard sort of halogen globe that you would get without the xenon gas charging. So if you've seen those halogen globes that you can buy that have got that kind of blue tint on them, those are generally xenon charged, which is another gas. Gives you a slightly wider output and a bit more brightness out of them, but these LEDs are around twice the brightness of these standard globes. Now, also importantly, because they're LEDs, they work a lot more efficiently, so they draw less current, which means you get more light output without putting additional load on your lighting system. So quickly looking at a couple of other stats as well. Operating temperature -40 degrees to +80 degrees, so they're going to work whatever climate you're in. The input power is only 36 watts, which is kind of what I was talking about before. So you're getting twice the brightness out of a globe, which is almost half, or pretty much, yeah, exactly half the wattage. So a standard globe like this is about 60 watts. These are 35, but you're getting twice the light output. So pretty much 4 times more efficient there. The other important thing to note as well is that they are constructed of aircraft grade aluminium, and that is both for the longevity and the quality of the product, but also the heat dissipation as well. Now, I know a lot of people think that LEDs don't get hot. That's the whole point of them. They're generating light output rather than heat output. But when you're working with devices that put out this much light, you still do generate quite a bit of heat. And one of the things that's really impressed me about these in the couple of days that I've been running them is that they really don't get that hot compared to a lot of the other ones that I've tested out. The Chinese ones that my mate had in his car got extremely hot to touch, to the point where you had to be very, very careful with how you wired it into the car, because anything that was touching the back of it was going to melt. But these don't get really hot at all. They get a little bit warm to touch. They got a little cooling fan in the back there as well, which helps, and that actually sounds pretty cool. You can kind of hear it whirring when you switch off the engine, and then you turn off the lights and it stops. So the other cool thing about these as well is that they've actually separated the LED module from the ballast. So what that means is you can have a cleaner installation without a big bolty globe hanging out the back of your headlight. But all the wiring is also completely waterproof as well. So you can see you've got the connection for your high voltage line to the globe from the ballast, and that plugs in like so. And then you've got a little dust cap here and water cap which you seal on, and you've got a completely watertight connection there. The ballast itself is nice and small and lightweight, and it's constructed of aluminium as well, so it's a nice metal case, not plastic and cheap quality. So holding on to the thing, everything about it just sort of gives you that impression of quality and you know, thoughtful design, which is great. So one other thing that I'll mention quickly as well is you've got this little grub screw here, which allows you to adjust the orientation to match your car, and the little instruction book tells you how to do all that as well. So anyway, let's get to actually installing the globes. I'll rewind back in time to a couple of evenings ago when I did the installation, and then what we'll do is we'll show you how to install them. We'll show you the difference in light output between the two sides with these and with the old globes, and then we'll take the car for a drive and actually have a look at the light output and you know, the difference it's made over stock. So let's get into it. So before we get into it, I just want to show you what the standard headlight globes look like. Now these are non-xenon charged halogen globes, so these are the kind of yellowish ones that you would see in a stock car. So start up the engine, and you can see there, that's the low beam. It's quite a yellow, and the camera actually makes it look a little bit brighter than it is, but we'll jump out quickly as well and just have a look at what it looks like outside the car. So the white light you see there is the LED parking globe, but you can see by comparison the light output of the halogen there for the low beam is very yellow and dim. Block that off there. And then we'll switch on the high beam quickly too. And there's the high beam. Alright, so the installation is really easy. You can see here you've got this star pattern here, which only really goes in one way. So you simply slot it in and then just twist it and it's in place. So the orientation will vary depending on the car that you're installing them into. Then you've simply got your connection which goes down to your ballast. Plug that in. Your ballast sits wherever you want, nice and secure. And then you just plug it into your old headlight wiring like so. Alright, so switch on the lights now. We've got them installed in one side and not in the other. So we'll have a quick look and see how they compare. So see the output of that side compared to, and I've got the white LED there as well for the Parker, so it's a little bit deceptive, but you can see there the output of the low beam compared to the new one. So chalk and cheese really. We'll quickly switch on high beam as well. So flick on our high beam. You can see a nice white output on this side compared to the very yellowish output on this side. So that looks so much better. Okay, so on the street with my GoPro. Now the GoPro does make it look a little bit darker than it is in reality, but you can see here it's a really nice quality white output, and flicking between high and low beam, you can see there's no problems at all. And what's really impressive here is that, like I said earlier in the video, it's illuminating everything on the street with its nice white output. You're not losing out on things that don't reflect back the blue light. So it really is right in the middle of the best possible area of visible spectrum. Absolutely perfect visibility, no issues whatsoever. And you can see up against the garage wall, there's no issues at all with the beam cutoff at all, which is why nobody was flashing their lights at me on the street. But yeah, those projector lenses are working perfectly normally, no problems at all, which is great. So you can hear the little fans going here, but if I touch the back of it, just quickly, and that's been running for a good 15 minutes, and that's not even, well, it's barely warm to touch. And the ballasts as well, just slightly warm to touch. So that gives me a lot of confidence that these things will run for a very, very long time, have a really long life compared to other ones which get really hot. So that's very impressive. So there you have it. That's my quick review of the Aerpro LED headlight globe. So look, really impressed with the product. No problems with installation. Everything's high quality. Light output's good. No issues with alignment, anything like that. So look, really highly recommended, and to be honest, I can't find any faults with it. So I'll continue to try it over the next couple of weeks and months and let you guys know if I have any problems. But to be honest with you, I don't really anticipate any issues at all. So make sure you check out the Aerpro website, which I'll link in the description below now. They sell a range of different things, from LED globes to fascia kits to install stereos, a whole bunch of stuff. So all their products are really good quality, and yeah, I've been using them myself for many, many years. So make sure you check that out. As always, make sure you like the video if you found the video interesting and useful, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.